Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a good one here for you today. So we have here a post from the Cointelegraph and it says, Tony Pierce believes the love that fans have for Doctor Who, Thunderbirds, Paul Frank and FIFA will take blockchain collectibles to the masses. Right, now I haven't read through the whole article because I'll be honest with you, it's quite long-winded, but there's a few points that I just want to get to in regards to this. Tony Pierce is actually someone who started his own blockchain company. And so he's basically trying to help make, companies with big brands like Doctor Who, FIFA, etc. Be able to have collectibles and things like that via the blockchain. So we're talking about like NFTs and that kind of thing, right? So maybe, for example, with Doctor Who, there might be like trading cards, that kind of thing. If you think about like Pokemon cards and that kind of stuff. So this will be like the blockchain equivalent. So the cards will be like NFTs, that kind of thing. And the main point I just want to make here is Doctor Who Worlds Apart uses the Hedera blockchain. This is being done on Hedera. So as I say, I'm not going to get into the full thing, but we've just got another post here by Shane Higdon, and he says Doctor Who materializes in Web3 built on Hedera. The BBC's flagship program debuts on Disney Plus in April. Great partnership with Reality Plus Web3 and BBC Studios. More to come. So this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, guys, when we're talking about how great these kind of use cases can be for Hedera. And the reason why these kind of use cases are so great in terms of like NFTs and that kind of stuff, like collectibles, when you're looking at this kind of thing, they already have an audience. So it's not like you're a company who's like a startup company having to build your audience from the ground up. You're actually working with established brands, established names who already have an audience. So you're just moving the audience from one place to another, right? And the love will be there. So you basically just bring in customers to Hedera, right? Because all it'll be a thing of is them saying, hey, for all you Doctor Who lovers, we've got this new blockchain NFTs that we're doing. Come and get your cards, come and get this game or whatever. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I love Doctor Who. Like, this is a whole nother thing for me to have collectibles. I've already got all the other stuff that are collectibles through Doctor Who. I've got the figures, I've got the exclusive interviews. I've got the posters, all this kind of stuff, all the memorabilia, all that kind of thing. This is just another thing to add to my collection. And this is what people don't understand, like with NFTs. Yes, NFTs haven't got a great stick right now because we've been through a bear market and stuff like that. But NFTs will be valuable in the future. Now, I'm not saying all NFTs, it will be subjective, like most things, like art and stuff like that, right? It's not like everything is just going to be valuable just because it's an NFT. No, of course not. But if you get, like, for example, a rare NFT, a rare Doctor Who NFT, well, that will be valuable to someone who's a collector, right? There might be someone who's like, oh, I have all this Doctor Who memorabilia, all this kind of stuff, and I really need this NFT, but it's so rare, I can't find it. And then this one person happens to have it, and that might complete their whole NFT collection and their whole Doctor Who collection, right? So they might be willing to pay a lot of money for that. This is the thing when it comes to NFTs. It's just like art. It's subjective. The price isn't just based on, oh, we think it's worth this. It's what the person is willing to pay for it. It's what it means to that individual. And so this is what I'm talking about. This kind of stuff being done is going to be absolutely incredible for Hedera. Like, Doctor Who is, it's been going on for years now. Now, I'm not a watcher of Doctor Who, but I'm not someone who needs to watch it to know how big Doctor Who is. Like, I'm aware of it. So just because I don't watch it doesn't mean I'm not aware of how big of a deal it is and how many years it's been going on for. And it's still going on strong to this day. So I'm very aware of the brand of Doctor Who. And then we're looking at things like it's on Disney Plus. So again, you've got a massive audience there who are using Disney Plus. It's on BBC, so it's on national TV, that kind of thing. It's got a massive audience, guys. And we're not just talking about Doctor Who as just one brand. There can be many other brands that come to use Hedera for their NFTs and that kind of stuff, right? So I agree with Tony Pierce. There is one part in the article where he said, like, Web3 isn't going away because, they've been talking about how the metaverse came through and it kind of like died down through the bear market and stuff, right? And, he says, look, like, Web3 isn't going away. And if companies don't have a strategy for Web3, they're going to lose the audience because that's where things are heading. I think ultimately I agree with this. I'm not saying that you're going to completely lose all your audience, because if you've got a core audience, they will stick with you regardless. But like the fickle audience, yeah, you could definitely lose some because they will want to migrate over to Web3. It's the next evolution. It's like just going from before life of the internet to going to the internet, right? From going like offline to online. Everything's different now. Like we live a life now where we're online all the time. Like the internet is readily accessible, right? So now trying to live your life offline is very difficult now at this stage, right? Generally speaking, being online is just kind of like a necessity now. And so this is what we're talking about in regards to Web3. Because this is so early, it's hard to see it. It's very hard to see. And, there's people out there who are scared and thinking it's a fad. They don't think it's going to have longevity and stuff like that. So it's hard at the moment to understand where this is going. But when you understand and you've seen things like the internet come in and like how that's been adopted and that kind of stuff, and you understand how this stuff works, the Web3 is the next stage. It really is. Crypto is the next evolution, right? It's the fourth industrial revolution. Like this is a whole new technology that is going to change the world. So when you see it at the moment, I understand people having doubts because it's hard to see it right now. But when we look back in like 5-10 years and we see the actual adoption that's taken place and how big of a role crypto is playing in our everyday lives, you will realize how big of a deal this is and how early we actually are within this time frame. And so to me, when I'm looking at this is where I'm saying like, this is just easy money for Hedera because they haven't even got to try and appeal to anyone with this. This isn't a thing where they have to market themselves. This is a thing where the big brands just choose a blockchain, which in this instance, they've chosen Hedera, and they just build on the blockchain or the hash graph. And they say, hey, this is the services that we have for this brand. If you want to get some collectibles for Doctor Who, FIFA, whatever, pick whatever brand you want. This is where you can get them. And then these people use these services because they want the NFTs, they want the collectibles, etc. They're getting involved. And that's ultimately benefiting the Hedera hashgraph network. That's how this works, guys. So when I'm seeing this, I'm like, this is a big deal. This really is a big deal. And so I'm thinking overall, yeah, like right now we're in the very early stages. So it may not be a thing where this happens just overnight. But I think long term, this is going to be massive and this is all going to play a part in terms of the value being brought to Hedera, right? So to me, I think this is going to be good. I think it's definitely something I'm going to be keeping my eye on because I can just imagine the value that this could bring to HBAR. And as I said, this is just one brand. This is just Doctor Who. Start throwing in other big brands. Start adding other brands to this network. Imagine how many different types of big brands you could have, or bring in different audiences to be utilizing the network via the NFTs and stuff like that, or the gaming. Man, the opportunities are endless. So to me, this is a huge thing, and I think this is going to be absolutely massive for HBAR long term. So this is something I'll definitely keep an eye on. So Tony Pierce is basically the guy who owns and runs Reality Plus Web3. That's the company who are doing the NFTs and stuff like that. So basically he gets like a deal with the brand. So for example, he may have made a deal with the Doctor Who brand with BBC. He said, yes, I will create the NFTs for you, stuff like that. I will create the games for you, but I'll be using their brand. They obviously give him the licensing to be able to do so. And he creates the games for them. And obviously he will build all this over the Hedera hashgraph network. And then ultimately when they're released, that's when obviously people will be buying, trading, etc. via Hedera. And for a lot of people, when this gets adopted the way it's supposed to be adopted, they may not even realize that it's crypto that's being utilized because it's all happening behind the scenes. Yeah, like that's when the true adoption occurs, when they don't even understand sometimes that crypto is actually being utilized as they're doing all this kind of stuff. So, we've got a little bit of a way to go in terms of that, but that's where we're talking about long term, when things just happen, behind the scenes, and it's not even a clear indication that that's what's going on. But yeah, absolutely great stuff to see here. So thought I would share this with you guys because this is a sign of what's to come. And this is just one brand that we're talking about right now in regards to getting this deal. There could be many other brands to come who will be working with Hedera to be releasing their NFTs and their gaming. Great stuff to see. Real great stuff to see. But what do you guys think? Hedera being utilized by Doctor Who for NFT and gaming services. Do you like the sound of this? Are you someone who's a fan of Doctor Who and would actually use Hedera to get the NFTs or use the gaming service? Do you think that this would be good for HBAR's price? Or do you not agree with this? Is there anything that you've heard in this video that you don't like the sound of? Or do you just not think that this would be good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.